And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Anyway, hey, welcome to That Boy's Christmas, 31 Days of Christmas with Peezy. Day number 2. I know I look the same from day number 1. Don't worry about all that. It's day number 2. Welcome to day number 2. Alright? I'm gonna drop 31 days of Christmas with y'all boys. Everything gonna be Christmas themed. Drop in the comments what y'all want me to see just in case I run out of things. But right now I got 3 true Christmas horror short stories animated by GRD Animations. You know what I'm saying? It got over 99K. He dropped it 2 years ago, so it's kind of relevant. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the animation's up to par and whatnot. It's a horror story, so I might drop the likes. I might drop the lights for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I won't be too bright up in the corner. But hey, without further ado, hold on, wait, let me get it first. Hey, that's my first time ever doing that. That's my first time ever doing that. Let me know if y'all fuck with that transition. If y'all fuck with that transition, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and fuck with your boy. Great on. Ain't nothing else to do but fuck with me. And let's see if we can get scared today. It's a true Christmas horror stories too. Literally. And this shit 20 minutes, so I'ma stop with all the pause and that shit.
About 10 years ago, I graduated college, was unable to find immediate work, and got pretty desperate around Christmas time. So I took on the iconic role of Santa Claus at my local mall. But since Christmas is probably my favorite holiday, I never had a problem getting into character. And well, thanks to my love of pizza and beer, I've never had a problem looking the part either. All it took was the addition of one of those glossy fake white beards and the iconic red suit itself, and I was making myself feel festive just by looking in the mirror. I had the voice down, the suit, the beard, and if I'm being honest, I was pretty proud of how good a Santa I was.
Bro, you look scary as fuck.
Outside of the holiday season, I now work as an admin assistant for a shipping company. Not exactly the most exciting job in the world, but it pays all right. So when the annual opportunity to don the red suit and make some kids smile comes around, I jump at the chance. However, during my time on the job, the most valuable lesson I learned was that you can never, ever promise the kids anything. There will be some children that ask for unrealistic gifts for Christmas. Some are just impossible to procure.
They hold his haircut. Look at the little white boy haircut. They could have animated him a little different, man. They get that boy that damn Zac Efron. Never mind. Black Santa Claus talking to kids. What's scary? What's scary about it, man?
A dragon, a horse, a tank. But sometimes they'll ask for other things.
I said I was gonna stop pausing. Fuck, stop pausing, Peezy. But hey, what did y'all ask for Christmas, gang? That y'all never got. Cause I wanted so much shit, and it's like your parents never get you what you asked for on Christmas. It's always something different, and they be so mad. They be so mad when you don't like what you want. When it's like, nigga, I only asked for one thing, bro. All I wanted was a fucking purple dragon with 2 fucking rider seats and a fucking PS5 on the back in 2008. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't so hard to get. That's all I wanted. Why the hell do I got socks and bikes and shit, gang? Anyway.
That are a little more sensible. Just way out of their parents' holiday budget. So I'd learned to give them my best, Santa will try his very best for you, before moving the topic of conversation onto something else. Christmas last year was pretty rough though, mainly because I had made the decision to make it the final one I'd play Santa. But it was rough for other reasons too. I'd developed quite the working relationship with some of the mall employees, both short and long term, so it was quite emotional when I announced that I'd be hanging up the Santa hat to spend more time with my family around the holidays. Anyway, Friday, December 22nd, was my last shift before the switch over to the new guy playing Santa Claus, and the mall was way busier than expected. I mean, it always gets pretty hectic the closer you get to Christmas, but even I've never seen anything like it in all the years I've been playing the role.
Yo, you talk so slow,
This final day of festivities was easily the toughest one to date, as I knew after that day I'd be moving on from playing Santa Claus. I know this seems kind of suspect.
They hold that
Most
nigga
people
suit
feel
too.
liberated when they leave a job like that.
They hold the suit.
But at the risk of sounding sort of sappy, I didn't have many good...
Get his Santa Claus suit, bruh. This cheap ass Santa Claus. Why they get a black dude the weakest Santa Claus suit ever, bruh? You don't even look like Santa Claus, bro. You look like a homeless person, gang. I can go outside and find a nigga that look just like you right now.
Growing up, so I felt like a lot of the festive spirit was me making up for lost time.
They hold his suit, bruh.
They say that time flies when you're having fun. Never was a truer word said. That last day flew by quicker than I could have ever expected.
Tight shit.
1 minute it was lunchtime.
Yeah.
The next the sun had set and it was fast approaching the time when I'd have to wrap everything up. But just as I was beginning to leave, I noticed a little girl slowly approaching me.
Why her face so strong, bro?
Why, hello there, little one. And where are your parents? I kept the voice on, giving her my warmest Santa smile. She didn't say a word. She just gave me this tired look and kept walking toward me with her arms held aloft, as if she wanted to be picked up.
Hey, that little girl would have caught a kick to the face, gang. You look scary,
I looked around for her parents, but I didn't see anyone that was obviously accompanying her.
Hell nah.
So I picked the little girl up and plopped her down on my lap, just as I'd done 1,000 times before. And what might your name be, young lady?
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for...
My name is Holly. Holly? Well, I never. What an adorable festive name. The Holly and the Ivy is one of my favorite Christmas songs. And may I ask, what is your last name, Holly? Donachie. It's Donachie.
Holly Donachie.
I nodded to the nearby mall security to have the name Holly Donachie broadcast over the mall's speaker system.
Holly Donachie.
That way her parents would come and find her. No doubt they'd be extremely worried at this point. But all the while this was happening, I would keep her company. And what is it that
Holly
Santa can
Donachie.
get you for
Holly
Christmas,
Donachie.
Holly?
My name's Holly Donachie.
Again, she didn't answer. She looked off into the distance as if she were staring at nothing.
Nah, Holly Donachie
like the
look crazy.
1,000-yard stare you hear about NAM vets having. She then looked up at me with the saddest set of blue-green eyes I'd ever seen. All I want for Christmas is a friend.
Aww.
I was dumbstruck. In all my years of playing Santa Claus, I'd never had any kids say they wanted a friend for Christmas. It was absolutely heart-wrenching.
We'll be your friend, Holly
All I could think
Donachie.
to do was pat her on the head. Well, I can be your friend, Holly.
Holly Donachie.
Santa Claus will always be your friend. And I'm sure a little girl as lovely as you will have no trouble finding herself a friend. She gave me a weak smile, hugged me, and then hopped down off my lap. I tried to stop her from just running off, but I was hesitant to actually grab her by the arm, lest I upset her. I called her name a few times, but she didn't seem to listen. She just disappeared into the throngs of festive shoppers.
Holly Donachie. Holly Donachie.
I tried to follow, but there was no sign of her.
Donachie,
So I started asking around if anyone had seen a little girl, about 4 feet tall, long brown hair, those almost luminous blue-green eyes, kind of a shabby appearance. Not a single person had any idea what I was talking about. It took a fair few minutes for members of the mall's security staff to actually wade through the sea of people and make it to the Santa's grotto. When I told them that she ran off into the department store, they started to become worried. Have any parents showed up looking for her? I asked. Nah, no one. Maybe she just wandered here after getting out of the house or something. Parents don't even know to look here. I was getting increasingly anxious as time went on, but
where are you, Holly
after a
Donachie?
thorough search of the mall and some intense studying of the CCTV camera, there were no signs of little Holly. It was like she just dropped off the face of the earth. I suppose that should have been the last of it, but for some reason I couldn't keep this little girl off my mind. The way she acted when questioned about her parents, compared to how forthcoming she was with all the other stuff I'd asked her, left a really bad taste in my mouth. So, one morning, after a dog walk and a little breakfast, I sat down on my computer and plugged the little girl's name into Google.
Holly
I
Donachie.
don't quite know what I was expecting to find.
How would you even spell that shit?
Nothing, if I'm being honest, but what I did find absolutely horrified me. December 23rd. Desperate mother pleads for return of missing girl. 9-year-old Holly Grace Donachie was reported missing by her mother, Lily Rose Donachie. At the time of her disappearance, the little girl was wearing a blue and white dress, white tights, and said her hair was in bunches. She is approximately 4 feet 2 inches tall, weighing at 60 pounds, and has brown hair and blue-green eyes. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of any missing person, please contact the Suffolk County Police Department at 617-635-1100. I was stunned. I just saw her a few weeks before on the 22nd. Perhaps it was a typo, but the more I researched, the more uneasy I became. The next article sent shivers down my spine. January 4th. Breaking. The remains of the missing 9-year-old girl, Holly Donachie, were found today, January 4th, in a wooded area about 3 miles away from her home. Suffolk County Police are investigating the cause of death, which appears to be an act of foul play. Holly was gone. She died just a few weeks after I met her, and all she ever wanted was a friend.
Gang, is that true? That's not true, right? This ain't true. That's not true.
I'm a member of the slam poetry scene.
Can't be.
Basically, it's an excuse to get people to listen to performance poetry. After running through the small scene in my city, I wanted to branch out and push my career further. So I started to visit places within driving distance where I could spit.
Stay focused.
This led me to Charlotte, North Carolina. I started at their local team venue, where you compete to be a part of a squad that goes to national competitions every year.
Tight shit.
I was doing well, and was accepted into the local crew pretty readily. This led...
Is that who talking? Cause that look like a girl, gang. You not giving me
stays
feminine.
and features at other venues around the city. I started going to one that was particularly popular, and good for selling CDs. That's where I met him.
Now that last story still got me
He
fucked
worked
up.
as a barback, occasionally got on stage and shared, frankly, shitty poems. He was the brother of the host, and everyone knew and liked him. He slowly started flirting with me more and more. Although this was back in my loose days, something always kept me leery.
This nigga voice tripping me
We'd
out,
always
gang.
hang around at parties and events, but I always had this tickle in my gut,
Why it's not a
warning
girl?
me not to ever get too close to him. But over a year or two, we continued to become friends. After a while, he started calling and texting me more often, poking me on Facebook daily, sending messages about wanting me to be more than friends with him.
Nah, if a motherfucker poke you on Facebook, he crazy, gang. Facts. If a nigga poke you on Facebook, he fucking crazy. Don't ever date a nigga who pokes you on Facebook. Same thing with a woman. If a woman poke you on Facebook, she will slash your tires, gang. Poking on Facebook is probably the worst sign of everything. If a nigga poke you on Facebook, that's an instant red flag. Same thing for women. Don't go for nobody who pokes you on Facebook, gang.
And how he wanted a snow bunny.
Oh.
Yes, I'm white and he's black.
Snow
Again,
bunny's crazy.
I never entertained it. There was something gnawing at me.
Poking you, calling you snow bunny's crazy.
The crazy in his eyes was too hard to miss. I eventually moved to Denver, where I took a position teaching poetry and working at a friend's law firm at the same time. The second Christmas I was there, I got the call. A friend from Charlotte relayed the following.
I can't get into this dude voice,
He had
gang.
indeed found his snow bunny,
What is that, a trans
and
or
they
what?
got married. They seemed happy at first, but slowly began fighting more and more. It spilled over into the venue, and often they had to be separated by their friends from physically attacking one another.
Oh.
One friend, later thinking back, remembers the last time she saw them together. Him pushing his wife, followed by her throwing a drink in his face and scratching his neck deep enough to draw blood.
Gang, what?
She told me that after the couple had been dragged away from each other, she sat with him and smoked a cigarette. She told me that she laughed and said, "You guys are gonna kill each other one day." Around Christmas last year, his wife just stopped coming to the bi-weekly events they both attended regularly. He explained it away that they were on a break. Time goes by. No one really questions that they haven't seen or heard from her in a while, thinking she was breaking from the whole scene in order to put distance between herself and her husband. Her parents, however, hadn't heard from their daughter since Thanksgiving dinner. They would call him up, and he would say everything was fine and blow them off. This continues until a week after Christmas. Knowing that their daughter would never miss a holiday without at least calling, the parents decide to call the police and send them to the couple's home for a well-body check. The cops arrive. They knock on the door and are let in. They ask him where she is. He replies that she's in the bedroom. He shows them into the room. And there she lay, dead for weeks, rotting in their bed. He even killed her little dog as well.
Not the dog. What the fuck the dog do? Bro, you gotta be a sick. You gotta be a sick motherfucker to kill the dog, gang. Are these real? Let me not laugh. If these real, I'm not laughing, gang. But what the fuck the dog do?
During this whole time, he'd been attending events, hosting hip-hop nights, even publishing a blog on how to make a marriage work. Never once letting on that every night he was going home and sleeping with his murdered wife. The sickest part of this whole thing is that he has a child from another relationship, a daughter who he gets to celebrate every other holiday with. That Christmas, they opened gifts, had dinner, cuddled up on the couch and watched TV, less than 100 feet away from her decaying stepmother. I don't know what would have happened if I ever took him up on his offer to date, but I do know that me and my gut will always stay on speaking terms, and I will always, always listen. Please note that an article about this murder can be found in the description below.
Should we go fact check? Nah, dead ass. Like, should we go fact check, bro? Bag of 34 we found along with the body of her beloved dog. He did kill the dog. Nah. He killed the fucking dog. Anybody who posts you on Facebook, gang. Anybody who posts you on Facebook, gang, is a murderer. Alright? Facts. Simple, bro. Anybody who posts you on any type, bro.
It was December, a few days before Christmas, and I was out walking my dog, Lucky Lucy, late one night. The poor thing had been stuck inside all day and was begging for some exercise. Being December in the north of England, it was obviously a very cold night. I was wrapped up head to toe in my warmest clothes, and I even put a dog coat on Lucy. We made our way down a quiet country path near my house. The path itself was lined by trees on either side. It was pitch black, so I held Lucy's leash in one hand and a flashlight to guide our way in the other. After 20 minutes of walking, I heard something on the path up ahead of us a ways away. Couldn't tell what it was at first, but it didn't sound like it belonged there, if that makes sense. Wasn't the sound of nature or an animal. I shone my flashlight directly into the darkness ahead of us, but whatever was making the noise was too far away to see. I stood frozen in place for a few moments, listening intently. Whatever the noise was, it had stopped. Thinking I'd just imagined whatever it was, I lowered my flashlight back to the ground and pressed on. Half a minute later, I heard that same noise again, only this time more clearly. I was closer to its source now, and could just about make out what it was. A woman, crying. I raised my flashlight again, and this time could make something out in the distance. Standing in the middle of the path, totally enveloped by the darkness, was what looked like a human shape. She was about 200 feet ahead of us. What on earth? I continued on towards her. Eventually, I got close.
Why? Why?
To see
Why?
her in detail.
Why?
The woman was standing with her back to me, body facing in the direction of the darkness ahead of us. Black hair sprawling down her back.
Gang, what?
She stood motionless in the road.
That's a
What
sign of
made this
disaster.
strange situation even weirder was that she was only wearing a stained white nightgown. No shoes or coat or scarf. Nothing to protect her from the elements.
And nothing told you to run, huh?
Like I said, it was freezing that night. What was she doing out here in the middle of nowhere dressed like that?
You went to go help. You went to
I
go walk
felt uneasy and wanted to turn back, but she was clearly in trouble. I couldn't just leave her there.
Motherfucking Bob the
excuse
Builder,
me,
huh? Want to help
miss,
all the damn time.
Do you need some help?
Oh my God.
She didn't answer me, and just stood there,
She don't want
sobbing
no
to
help.
herself. Obviously, something bad had happened to the poor thing. I lowered my flashlight as not to freak her out, and slowly approached her, one small step at a time. Are you alright? Did somebody hurt you? Again, there was no reply to my questions. I continued to inch forward. I was only 25 feet away from her now, but without my light on her, I could only make out the outline of her body, like she was a human shadow standing in the pathway.
And she probably was, gang.
Suddenly, my dog Lucy stopped, her eyes fixed on the woman in front of us. She tensed up and became hard like a stone. I tried to tug her along, but she refused to budge.
Listen to Lucy, gang.
Then, she did something I'd never known her do in all of my days. She let out a low, aggressive growl. She was usually such a sweet-tempered dog. This was totally out of character. Come on, Luce, I said to her.
If your dog don't know anything in this world, gang, your dog knows some motherfucking danger, bro.
She refused to move and just continued growling.
That I heard you, not them.
I'd
They
never
don't
seen
care
her
about
act like this
themselves.
before.
Just you.
I took that as a warning sign. Dogs often have a good sense for danger. Thus,
Great
I
sense.
stopped and
Great
shone
sense
my
of danger.
flashlight directly at the woman one final time. Her whole body illuminated. Through the dark hair in the back of her head, I could make out two large, watery, black eyes and a wide, large mouth. It was as if her face was on backwards. I almost dropped my flashlight in shock. Lucy whimpered. I immediately turned and began power walking back the way I'd come. Quickly
Power walk. Get in the wind.
alongside me.
Power walk.
Sudden, quick footsteps behind us. I turned and shone my torch. Still sobbing, and still with her body facing away from us, the woman was running backwards towards us. I don't know how else to describe it. Given the direction of her body, she was moving unnaturally fast. My walk turned into a full-on sprint, Lucy running just ahead of me. The weeping slowly began to fade into the distance. Whoever or whatever we encountered on that path was gone. I have no idea what we saw on that country path that cold winter's night.
Oh my gosh, bro. I don't want to see no more, man. I'm tired of white people just being weird. Hey, man, if y'all made it this far and y'all enjoyed this fuckery, subscribe. Like the video. Show your friends. And I'm out. 'Cause this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.